because we're seeing the most successful firms in getting estate planning really implemented have you on their team. And so tell us maybe about that relationship, that workflow, how that's handed off, how the maybe main advisors teeing it up. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And what works for us might not work for everyone,
Mhm.
right? If you're a solo advisor, maybe you don't have the luxury right now of having a planning team. I realize that. But again, there's a lot of benefits to having that point person who just leads the charge on everything Encore related for a number of reasons. I'd say the biggest one being that they just become the expert on your
Mhm.
team. So that said, when it comes to our firm, so again, we have a number of advisors that we work with. And I will say there's really one of two paths on how they ultimately involve me. And it really just depends on their comfort zone. So, pathway one is if I'm working with an advisor, like there's a number of advisors, I'll speak about my partner, Brian, for a second. He's done so many estate plans. He knows the question to ask. He knows the quality of the information that he needs to obtain in order to make sure that we have accurate documents. So Brian will just go out, meet with the client without me, have the discussion, collect the information that's needed. And after the meeting, he'll just hand me over the file. We try to leverage it in a very efficient way. So we focus on
Mhm.
technology there. But that said, he gives me all of the information to which I then put the information in. I review the documents to make sure that they align to the information that he provided. I have a quick little check in. And then I schedule a time to have the clients come in, review the documents with them, have them sign them. We actually have notary on staff, so we have the witness and notarize when they're in the office. But I say this because Brian, in that example, he had that introductory meeting. Technically speaking, he just handed everything off to me thereafter so that he spent that 1 hour discussion and didn't have to worry about anything else. Now, kind of option two, though, is we have other advisors that just aren't as confident to have that discussion with the client up front, and that's okay. That's why I'm here on the team. That's why we have a director of financial planning, so that we have one person who can go in and help have those discussions with clients, whether it's estate tax, retirement planning, you name it. So that other type of client or that other type of advisor, excuse me, the part two advisor, what they'll do is they'll have me come in directly from the beginning rather than them collecting the information. I join that meeting and I do that for them. Same thing after that meeting where we collected the information that's necessary in order to put together the documents. I then take that back from the advisor and they can just jump into those meetings as they want to. Some of them like to be there for the execution meeting so that they can tie it back to the wealth management or insurance strategies or just beneficiaries that need to be changed, asset ownership, you name it. But we created this in such a way that the advisor does not need to, so that they can focus their time on another client that meets the
Yeah.
same level of service. Now, I'll use that as an opportunity as well to say, for my team, I then have other individuals on the team that then help us with the data entry. So we've now scaled it to the point where I do the initial review to make sure that we have everything that we need, that it checks into place for what the client is looking for. But I have somebody that does all of the data entry. I then just do a quick final review and then the documents when they come back so that I'm not touching everything as well, just to make it as seamless and transitional. So there's a number of ways that you could scale it. You can be as involved as you want to, especially if you have somebody on the team, an administrative assistant, somebody in that financial planning role. Again, I'm going to go back to Lizzie. I don't mean to keep picking on her. Lizzie loves to be involved in those discussions. So Lizzie is basically the me in one of our other offices. She has that introductory meeting. She's the one that then enters in the information. She pulls her own documents and then have the client sign. So we will really set it up based upon what the advisor and the client feel most comfortable with. But we do have it set up in such a way that it could just be handed off to really just make it as efficient as possible for everybody involved.